Second point that you can see on the screen, it's tough for defenders also to hold because the attackers are given the high ground, it's very open, it's tough to use cover. So teams quite often want to play a fairly static setup on defense with this particular map. Now what we're going to see from the Outlaws is exactly that. The inclusion of Orisa always indicates us that, I guess, the most important or fragile part of the team is going to be operating in the vicinity of that barrier and probably not moving too far at all.
And Coolmat will be playing Roadhog, so you could use the Orisa, the Halt, plus the Roadhog hook to kind of grab people in.
Like a guaranteed hook, right?
Yeah, and then suck them on in with the hook. A lot of pressure on Linkser as well, playing the McCree, going up against Shadowburn and Carpe on the Genji and Tracer yet again. But they do have a very good comp Houston to deal with the Genji and the Tracer, right? Junkrat can put down a lot of burst damage in close areas.
The traps are incredible as well for Tracers who aren't looking.
Roadhog with the hook, and then McCree obviously with his flashback.
Whereas the Fusion go for something that could be considered a little bit more standard. It's going to be a Tracer and Genji for DPS. So again, mobility, aggression, and the potential to dive into the backline. But the problem is here, they have to get past many layers of defense. The Outlaws have got a heck of a lot of front-loaded damage, good AoE and shielding. Neptune gets hooked immediately. They don't want to lose a Lucio this early, but they have. There's nothing he could do. Attempted a boot, but Shadowburn goes in and at least gets the one-for-one trade. Nice by the Fusion here to get so much done on this attack. Neptune is brought back, so is Raucous.
Well, in the position that Houston is playing, Shadowburn can do so much damage just with his dash on Genji. He goes right through 2 or 3 players. Then Poco comes in with some missiles. You have Carpe there as well in the Tracer. As soon as he picks up 1 kill, that resets Shadowburn's dash. He goes right back in, right on through. I know one thing when you have the Orisa, right? She has a great barrier, a lot of shield uptime, but if you can get past that barrier and she doesn't have it on cooldown and throw it down again, everybody's a free target.
And if you can burst it down, if you can just concentrate your damage onto the barrier, you can make it hard for her to replace it. It can be quite frustrating as an Orisa in that environment. But many players don't notice to shoot at Carpe. Heads will roll. His is the first as Linkser quite happily peeks out around the corner and shuts him down. That's the hit scan pressure, the power that McCree can provide. But Linkser is going to need a lot of protection, maybe some babysitting to a degree on that McCree.
So Philly is going to have their Dragon Blade. They're going to have a Pulse Bomb before any support ultimates are online here for Houston. We'll see if Philly, has a good track of where the Houston ult economy is. They realize that you expect to see the Dragon Blade pulled out pretty early in this fight.
Shadowburn, oh, I know exactly who he's looking for. Bunny takes a bit of damage, and that seems to be the ghost signal. Quick block early on there, trying to make sure the damage doesn't take him out early, but Raucous finds Shadowburn. The entirety of the Outlaws back right into spawn and stay away. Poco opts for the self-destruct here. He won't find anything, but he'll get his mech back. That's almost as important in these cases. Raucous, very, very low. Lynx is trying to flash Carpe, but Carpe's giving them a wide berth right now. Not getting too close. He's chased down by Muma.
It's a big fight there for Houston. It's going to be Philly not able to even get a tick here on point B. They ended up using their Dragon Blade, their Pulse Bomb in self-destruct.
That's
Got
a lot.
For it. Yeah, Shadowburn goes deep, and then he just has the opponents for Houston just back up into their spawn, so not really able to do anything there. When he jumps down, he's also scared. I believe it was Raucous, on the Zenyatta, loading up some of his orbs. Maybe he catches one in the face, and now you give the ultimate advantage here to Houston. It's going to be Jake using the Riptire. Gets taken out there. Carpe actually takes out Jake while he's actually calling the Riptire in. Bonnie with the res brings them right back in. But look at this position that Linkser has here with the Deadeye.
It's hard to reach from here. That's the tough part. Defense Matrix could block some of the damage, and it does, but Linkser still found 2. Carpe and Shadowburn are both down. They are flankers. They couldn't benefit from the defensive matrix of the D.Va because they were playing away from their front line. Now Linkser, look at all the support he's getting. I mentioned this earlier on. He's in a safe spot, back in the corner. Frankie's super low. He gets cut down. Jake chases him in. Poco and Frankie both down to Jake's hand, and the Tank Buster is in.
And you use your Valkyrie here for Philadelphia, and I guess that forces out the Valkyrie on the side of Houston, forces out Deadeye as well, and a self-destruct. So you get a few of those out of the way. Shadowburn will have another Dragon Blade, and you will have Transcendence on both sides. We'll see how Philadelphia decides to engage here. Carpe, probably, you're able to build up the Pulse Bomb pretty quick playing Tracer, so should have a Pulse Bomb rather quickly. Maybe see if he can get into the backline.
Philly are split right now. Their frontliners seems to be trying to chase an individual target, whereas Muma wants to play from off the side here. He's got a primal rage, so he's going to be more than happy to jump in and cause some problems. He's going to jump on Neptuno now as well. He actually uses the jump straight away, and that forces the Transcendence. What can Muma do now? He's stuck. He goes for the primal rage, gives him that 1,000 health back, and now wants to battle around Carpe a little bit, but he's found a better target. Boombox is looking pretty juicy here, but the healing that he's getting is enough to keep him alive, and Muma spends the entire fight jumping around, not to get a kill, but it's the distraction that he's causing that's so important. Boombox the point. Shadowman drops and falls into a flash, and Poco now will be cut down as well.
Houston will hold on here. They get another Deadeye coming into the next fight. They'll still have Transcendence. You're going to build up a self-destruct and your own Valkyrie. So a lot of ults here for the Houston Outlaws to use. We'll take a look here Rox's POV. Landing some shots. Fraggy actually gets stuck in a Junkrat trap there. Nice shot there, connecting onto Shadowburn. But I wonder, you know, Houston, you have all these ultimates. What does Philadelphia do to try and break this open? Do we see some kind of comp switch at some point? Maybe, get a 76 or a McCree in the mix, try and control the high ground?
He's a Riptide, though that might answer the question for you. Philadelphia might struggle. I mean, this is zoning, so Jake's able to push them away. This is very smart, by the way. Poker was hoping to get a remech, but that is being denied by the fact that he was hit by that Riptide. Now, Shadowburn has a Dragon Blade, Carpe has a Pulse Bomb, so any one of these ultimates used to draw out a Transcendence is going to be worth it for Philadelphia Fusion.
They've not been able to draw the Transcendence out, though. Remember in Game 1 where they were able to do it with the Primal Rage? We haven't seen Carpe be able to really kind of find out where Raucus is, get a good view on him, and connect that Pulse Bomb and force it out. And now, by the time you built up these ultimates, right, Raucus still has that Transcendence. You also have Valkyrie on the side of the Houston Outlaws. So even if you do get Raucus, he doesn't have to use that Transcendence. They use the Valkyrie, bring him right back up, try the fight again, and then if the fight doesn't go their way, then you can use that Transcendence.
Format plays close to the front door. Carpe falls off screen, so that's going to slow things down a fair bit. Self-destruct thrown out. Raucus is down, quickly brought back up. They need the Transcendence in this fight here. And Lynx is a little bit out of position. You see Poco up behind him. Yes, he needs support on that McCree. He didn't have any from where he was standing. Now Jake just trying to go willy-nilly, throw some of these mines into the action. Play close if he has to. Drops a trap down, but Lynx has been down again by Carpe. Jake now comes in, found Frankie there. With that right click, it's going to send the Riptide forward. The Transcendence can't heal through burst damage, and that Chino couldn't survive it.
Philly really close to taking point B there, and it's funny, it's actually Jake pops that Riptire as soon as he gets the trap icon that comes up. Shadowburn actually stands in his trap on the point. They're able to get rid of him. He has that Dragon Blade, and they had already used the Transcendence. If he doesn't stand in that trap, maybe you see the Dragon Blade come out from Shadowburn and the Philadelphia Fusion. Maybe they're able to take it, but you do get all the support ult out from the side of Houston. Getting close to a Deadeye here. It's Jake with the burst damage, able to take out Fraggy at the beginning. It's going to be the Dragon Blade now used here by Shadowburn, and he dives in, not able to locate much of anything.
He had to hide. It was a Deadeye from Lynx or so. If he peeked his head out, he would have gone alongside Neptuno. Fusion have already lost most of their big tools in this fight match, so it's going to be essentially done. Jake has had such an incredible match. You can see by the time the Fusion even get close to the point, they've already lost one of their players from a trap or a mine or just direct fire from the Junkrat.
So now they're going to change things up. Carpe will play Widow, and it's interesting, Widow against the Junkrat here, because where do you try and go? Do you try and go towards that high ground? Going to be able to get picked off rather quickly, not really able to get through the choke, get a lot of sightlines. Maybe you play towards the middle, you play towards that left-hand side.
Opting into a Widow 1v1 is not always a bad thing. I think as attacking Widow, you have a little bit of an advantage in terms of unpredictability. Whereas Lynx, is always going to have one of a few spots, but that's the second time he's picked up Boombox in the last 10 seconds or so. Every time the Brit pokes his head out, it's taken clean off. And Lynx finds Carpe as well. Now this is just getting gross.
The pushes don't even begin to formulate for the Philadelphia Fusion, because you have just players dropping at the hands of Lynxer from range. Jake's gonna get close to a Riptire. You got Cool Matt working towards the self-destruct. Only 30 seconds left here. Really nothing in terms of ultimates, for the Philadelphia Fusion to work with.
And Lynx gets the for sight.
You're gonna be able to see exactly where Carpe is, the rest of the members for the Philly Fusion. So you don't really have the option to even wait this out, because you're gonna have about 5 seconds left on the clock.
2 ticks for the Fusion, 1 more required to capture the entire port. Coolmat's waiting. He knows what the tanks are going to do. He knows he can respond now with this self-destruct. Big ultimates available for the Outlaws, and Jake's found Boombox with an early Riptire. Lynx is sitting back, looking for the Tracer. Just Lynx's presence alone on the Widow forces Carpe not to step onto the point. And that is going to be the end of the round. The Fusion fail to complete the map.
Jake on the Junkrat just denies that high ground access for the Philadelphia Fusion when they were running the Tracer in Genji, that kind of traditional dive composition. Then they switch over to the Widow. They're not able to win that Widow v Widow battle. Lynxer versus Carpe. Not really able to make any progress, really outside of that one fight that ends up going sideways when Shadowburn steps in the trap. They were very close to taking point B if they may have gotten that Dragon Blade off.
So this is a map as an attacking team that those early picks mean very little if they're not followed up on almost instantly. The defenders spawn much like Temple of Anubis right behind the point. It doesn't take them long to get back into the fight. If you can't capitalize on the absence of the opponent that you just picked off, it's not going to be worthwhile. You need to commit a lot of resources as an attacking team to controlling the point, to setting up, to having a sustainable base of operations, you could say. I mean, high ground is something that teams have often used on this map, you know, working up onto that platform, pushing back the enemy tanks, setting up with your hit scan, Widow, 76, whatever you like to make it work. But for the Fusion, now we're starting to see the first sort of evidence of them coming up against a brick wall and not quite knowing how to get through it.
So this is pretty cool. So Philly on defense, you'll have Fraggy play the Orisa, you will have Carpe play the Widowmaker. So this is what we were talking about when we saw in the preseason, right? You know, maybe you have Neptuno pocket Carpe with that damage boost from Mercy. You're able to have him behind the Orisa shield up top. Houston, at least what it looks like right now. This is something that we saw Seoul Dynasty do on Horizon Lunar Colony. During the preseason, they ran, oh, well, it looks like they're going to make some changes. So Bonnie was on Moira. What we saw Seoul do was run Moira with the EMP, and they were able to just push on in and get so much healing. It's a little bit of a variation of that comp, because you have Raucus playing the Sombra now, probably get that mega health pack towards the right-hand side, farm that for a little bit, get on the point, use that EMP.
A good EMP is pretty much a one fight at this level, and Raucus, we definitely know him for his Sombra play. It's always been a pocket pick of his, so he takes control of this health pack, which effectively gives control of this area to the Outlaws. A Fusion can't really push in and fight when there's no health pack available to him. Raucus is now on reconnaissance, get some information, and he might just tickle the point here to force some players back.
It's going to be very difficult for Carpe to play into this, because he's so focused on Jake as the Pharah, but you also have Raucus on the flank here as Sombra, and so it's interesting. Philly doesn't really worry about the Sombra on the backside of the point. They take the fight towards the front. Now they're going to work their way back to deal with Raucus.
Raucus is more than happy just to try and get away. What I find so interesting about this is that you've got a third of your entire team committed to kind of being behind enemy lines. I don't think that Bunny actually wants to necessarily be pocketing Raucus right now, but he's got no option. He's got no safe way to get out. This might be time for an EMP. He's thinking about it, and Boombox is going to be the first to fall. His shields are stripped away, and so is his health. Neptuno second. Raucus is open this fight up like a nice little oyster, and now they're enjoying the sweet insides. The point belongs to the Outlaws. All it takes is a good EMP, and Sombra has it all hacked up.
Just shows you what an EMP can do for a team. You talked about it, an EMP at this level of Overwatch is pretty much a one fight. Great EMP use there from Raucus. And do they, okay, so they're gonna change up. I was gonna say, do you stick with the Sombra going into point B? But point B is so kind of spread out. You can have your team on the defensive end.
Split and avoid being caught.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you get one or two players caught in the EMP, and that really doesn't do much. Philly on defense, they'll have to not have a Junkrat to deny that high ground access. They'll go with the Genji Tracer combination. Lynx are here, uses a pulse bomb, doesn't connect with anything.
He tried to predict Boombox moving to the left, I think, and it wasn't quite right. Boombox was able to juke that one out. So Lynxy gets caught out, realizes he doesn't really have the recall that he needs. And the Outlaws aren't going to commit too much more, I think, outside of this. They're looking pretty confident, like they got this one under control for the time being. Obviously, you can look at the screen as well as the Outlaws on the attack, not on the defense. Sorry for that confusion. I'll have to switch it over for you. Self-destruct on the high ground. Is he going to force Jake down? He does catch Neptuno with that mine as he hits the ground.
Yeah, Booma here, trying to get onto Boombox, directly around the corner. Boombox gets that little health pack, just trying to get away here. Booma finishing it off. This is looking great for the Houston Outlaws. It's a Riptire, D-Mac coming out from Jake, finishes off Poco. Things are not going well for Philly here.
Right, desperately they're trying to bring Shadowburn back, but the Outlaws have already posted up on this point just a little bit more, and the round will be there. As you can see, Raucus is getting really pressured by Fraggy here. Of course, it's Fraggy's job to get rid of the squishy targets, but there's so much support for Raucus. He's being held up by Bunny the entire time. Numbers are favoring the Outlaws right now, and so, it seems, is fate. Pressuring out, Transcendence available for Raucus if he needs it, but he's just not going to require it at this stage. They've got all the numbers on the point. Philadelphia, one by one, they can't trickle back in. Well, we've got a tied series here, a 1-1. The Outlaws have woken up. Make a strong statement here in a second.
Raucus has a tremendous map playing the Sombra and Zenyatta for this team. He did a great job of holding on to those Transcendence